Hi, good afternoon. It's Chef Gaetan again. Gaetan for my friend. Thank you for your comment. Thank you for your feedback. And one of the questions I would like to answer is about subscription. And yes, subscription is free. So what will happen if you select subscription? The only thing which will happen each time I publish a video, and I intend to publish another 48 cooking class on video on YouTube, you will receive a copy of that video. So this is the only commitment for you to sign up and subscribe. For me, the more subscriber, the merrier it is for me. Today I have a cake. It's called the Gâteau Chômeur. It's a recipe from my mom, and my mom got this recipe from a neighbor in 1931. And the nature of the cake is a raisin cake with 3 spices. The name Gâteau Chômeur refers to a skill of roof maker using straws or hay in the late 19th century and before. So that recipe, I believe, is over 90 years old, conservatively, and because the name of the cake is probably a recipe of over 100 years old. In our family, that was the staple cake, and since my young age, as far as I remember, my mom was making Gâteau Chômeur, the raisin cake with 3 spices, and I'm going to use my mom recipe for this video. It's a very simple. So let's start by the wet ingredient. There's 3 stages: wet ingredient, dry ingredient, preparation and baking. So that's the 3rd step. Step number 1, I need boiling water and raisins. In English, dry stuff like that, it's called raisin. In French, it's called a raisin. But it's also called raisin when it's the fruit on the vine that you can eat at the end of the season. So fresh or dry in French is called raisin. In English, raisin, it's dry grapes. Here we are. Now you know everything. I'm putting the dry grape here. The recipe is in the description of the video, so you will have all the ingredients and all the proportion of the recipe. So I put raisin, sugar, and vegetable oil. You can use canola oil, sunflower oil, you can use olive oil. Olive oil will give you more flavor. It's up to you. You can even use corn oil. It will add flavor to your cake. And believe me, this cake is not short in flavor. So step number 1 is this one. We bring to a boil the water, the sugar, and it's very important to stir at the beginning because we want to dissolve every single grain of sugar in there. I use organic cane sugar in this recipe. So the sugar is dissolved. Now I'm just waiting to bring that to a boil. And I do that until I have the grapes soaked, saturated by water. Reduce the heat by half. Just keep boiling. You see now there's some, how you call that, foam at the surface of the water. It's brownish. 2 things happen is the sugar from the grapes and the sugar, the cane sugar, start releasing and combining. Well, in the process it's take about 4, 5, 6, 7 minutes depending on your rate of evaporation. And one of the indication is the raisin, double in size. And they are almost wrinkle free. And the syrup, now we have a syrup in there. It's thickening slightly. And the color becomes like a golden brown color. At that stage, you know you're done with the raisin, not the grapes, but the raisin. So I turn off the heat like that. And to stop the cooking, I'll need ice water. And I put ice water in there and let everything cool down. Why ice water or ice? Is because if I take this wet mixture, mix that with the flour in the container, it will start cooking immediately and the rising factor of the dough will disappear. So to avoid that, we need to bring down the temperature of the wet ingredient below 120 degrees Fahrenheit. Or maybe like 50 degrees Celsius, something in that range, below that degree. This is all to avoid disastrous result. The cake will not rise, it will be thin, hard, harsh, and not very pleasant. So without any further ado, let's go to the dry ingredient and then mix the two together before we proceed with the baking. Stay with us, we'll be back. So here we are. This is the second part of the recipe. It's quite straightforward. We need flour, and it's 625 grams of flour. Done. The next ingredient is one of the 3 spices we're going to use there. This is ginger powder. You have the quantity, it's 13 grams. If you want to worry about the other relative measure, it's about tablespoon 2. The 2 other spices are nutmeg, 6.5 grams, or 1 tablespoon, and cinnamon, 1 tablespoon or 6.5 grams. We need 5 grams of salt, like this. We need 7.5 grams of baking soda, and you put that in there. That's step number 1. I'll put in there here. And we're going to blend that, give a little mix. Here we are. Okay, great. This is done. Take this out. We'll need that in a second. Then I need to grab the wet ingredient. Raisin, not grapes, raisin, sugar, oil, and water. Now the raisin about twice the size of when it came out of the bag. Okay, this is very nice. I cool down the wet ingredient to about 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Can touch it that way, it's a good sign. There's no burn. Slowly but surely, you put that there. Yes, be with me. And little mix all the ingredients together. Meanwhile, I'm going to use a pan. I'm going to coat that with a spray of oil. I'll make sure it's all over the place. this is flour. This is done. Okay, you can taste that, that's delicious. Put that quickly. Okay, need you a little bit. Be careful when you spread it that way. You don't want to pick up the flour and then you have a bare corner with no flour. So this is done. This is ready to go to the oven. Put that in the oven 50 to 60 minutes, 350 degree Fahrenheit. We'll see you after that. $200. We have the cake here. Take about an hour and a half to let cool down. I want to have it cool because to unmold the cake, if it's warm, it might fall apart. So I'm using a little spatula of silicone spatula. It's look like the cake is coming out of the mold. Oh yes. I'm going to use this way. It's already floating in it. It's out. It's cooked. And now, in two steps, I need to bring that on the board. I bring the board upside down like this. Here's the cake. And I have to provide a disclaimer. This cake is addictive. I am the first witness of that. I was a kid, 4 or 5 years old. We have cake for dinner. In the middle of the night, I sneak in the closet, in the pantry, pull the pan, and cut a piece just to extend the line where the cake was already cut. And if the cake was cut like in the L shape like this, I make another L shape like this. And another one like this. And another one like this. Guess what? In the morning, my mom saw the cake and said, I wonder who came during the night. Somebody tastes the cake and it's gone. Well, I warn you, even for reasonable adult, and I know a number of adults around me, I will not name her, but one piece is not enough, and one piece is conductive to a second piece, and sometimes a third piece. And this cake is very, very, very nice with plain yogurt or vanilla ice cream. So I will take a cut here. Let me grab a knife. Yes, I know, Ray, I should have the knife next to my board. So I'll cut just a piece here. And I open up the treasure like this, and I can show you here. This is perfectly cooked, but the only thing I cannot share with you at this moment is the smell. It smells so good, and guess what? After the recording, I will have a taste of it. So again, thank you for watching. This is now becoming cooking class series. We have pizza, we have stir fry, we have cake. There's about 47 more classes coming up in the next 12 months. Just subscribe, it's free. The only thing you're going to receive from me is once a week there will be a new recipe with all the ingredients and the demonstration on video. There's nothing else to it. So please subscribe, tell your friend, and why don't you try the recipe yourself? You might enjoy that cake, you might enjoy the previous stir fry, and for your next party you might enjoy the pizza we did a few days ago. So on that note, thank you. We'll see you very soon. Cheers.